This video is for you if you'd like to move on from regrets and find a forgiving and self-accepting way of integrating mistakes into the story of your life. Hey everyone, and welcome to Becoming an Expert at Self-Leadership. I'm Maika, a psychologist, and this channel is about refining our self-leadership skills so we can live a fulfilled life. When we regret something, we are focused on a mistake we've made and think about what we could have done differently in the past. These are thoughts like, why did I say that? Why did I do that? Look where it got me. What will other people think? How will this affect my future? Why did I use this opportunity when I had it? I wish I never would have gotten involved with this person. Why didn't I stay longer in school and get that degree? Emotions that go along with these types of regretful thoughts are usually sadness, shame, sometimes also anxiety about the future and about making other mistakes. It also affects our behavior and our ability to make choices, often by causing us to withdraw and become inactive out of fear of doing other things that we will also regret. Now, up to here, I've made regret look pretty bad, which it's only if we remain stuck in it and if it's excessive. So next, I'd like to talk about where excessive regret comes from, how and when it's useful, and how we can move on from it. Where excessive regret comes from. One way of thinking about this is, well, it's obvious. Regret comes from having made a mistake. The bigger the mistake, the bigger the regret. The reason people get caught up in regret is because they've made a lot of or a big mistake. But what if that's not it? What if regret has more to do with our mindset and the way we relate to mistakes and ourselves? I once heard two people talking, and one person said, the reason you don't regret anything is because you're so good at making choices. You don't have anything to regret in your life. And guess what? The other person did not agree. They did see things that they potentially could regret, but they explained that they consciously chose not to live like that. So the reason we remain stuck in regret is not because we made a mistake, but it's because we have certain beliefs about mistakes. For example, we are more prone to regret if we have perfectionistic tendencies, if we always believe we should measure up to the highest standards. And we're also more prone to regret if we think that we should never make a mistake, that we should be good at everything that we try right from the get-go, and that we should always make the perfect choice. And then even if we look back onto that choice later on, when we have so much more information, we still should be of the opinion that this was the best choice that I could have made. Whew. The good news is we can move on from this mindset, and in that way also move on from excessive regret. How to move on from regret. The main shift we need to make when moving on from regret is to shift from focusing on the past and what we could have done better to what is important right now. I'll take you through it step by step. Step 1, acknowledge what happened and your reaction to it. So step 1 means allowing yourself to acknowledge what happened and how you are reacting to whatever happened or to the memory of that. You can do this in different ways. You can simply say, that happened and it was a mistake. It's something that I wouldn't do again. Or you can also do it in more detail and write down exactly what happened and write about your feelings and thoughts when you're thinking about this. You can write thoughts like, I'm noticing that my thoughts are focused on this event and what I did and how it seems like this was a mistake. And I'm feeling sad and ashamed. When we allow ourselves to acknowledge that something happened, we stop fighting with the fact that it happened, and that frees us up to move on from it. Note that in order to move on from being stuck in regretting a mistake, you don't have to make that mistake go away. That would be taking up the fight and struggle against reality again. I mean, of course, obviously, if there's something you can do to apologize or correct the situation afterwards, and it seems like that would be a good idea, then that's not what this is about. This is about accepting things that happened that you can't change and knowing that you can move on from it and live a good life despite of that. You don't have to try to erase that in some way or punish yourself for the rest of your life for that and live in a compromised way because of having made a mistake. You can move on from it. You don't have to regret a mistake for your whole life. You can process it, you can integrate it into your story, and you can own that story, and that is step 2. Step 2, collect learnings and reevaluate. While you're allowing the mistake to exist, you can also find a way of relating to it that lifts you up instead of dragging you down. You can ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What do I want to do differently if I'm ever in a similar situation in the future? And if you do this in depth, then whenever you think of that mistake again in the future, you can tell yourself, hey, I have processed this. I've learned my lesson and now I'm moving on. I don't need to keep mulling it over. I don't need to keep regretting this. Forgive yourself for having made a mistake by reminding yourself that mistakes are human. They are universal. We all make them. Mistakes and failure are part of the risk that we need to take in order to do whatever is important to us. Once you've made a mistake, it may feel like you can't ever live with yourself again the way you did before, but I assure you it will. I'm 100% certain that you can find a way of relating to yourself in this mistake that allows you to love yourself, to accept yourself wholeheartedly again. You will be able to feel whole again. And if you're having trouble coming to that point on your own, seek some help from a mental health professional, friends, a support group. When you see how they don't hold whatever it is you did against you, when you experience their kindness, their compassion, acceptance, and forgiveness, you can learn to transfer that onto yourself within yourself. Step 3, take constructive action. Step 3 is the actual getting into motion to move on. It's the writing a new script instead of rerunning the old movie. Constructive action can be all types of things. It can be doing something to minimize the damage of the mistake if there's something that can be done. It can also be a step into a new direction, refocusing on who you want to be, what's important to you, what you want to be doing, investing into your future, contributing in ways that you want to contribute. This isn't running away from the mistake. It's running towards what's important to you. You've now reoriented yourself from what you could have done differently in the past towards what's important to you right now. By the way, if you would like to receive these types of inputs on self-leadership regularly It may be important to you right now to remember to hit the subscribe button. Leave a like if you like this video. Thanks for watching. Till next time, take care. And remember, you do not have to remain stuck in regret. You don't have to remain stuck in regretting mistakes. You don't have to mull them over and over. You're allowed to move on from them and to reconnect with the person you want to be and what you want to be doing.